Just giving me me gogs a wipe, so to speak. I'm trying something out because I want to see if I can. No, we don't want that. We want that. I just want to. So well. Oh, I say. So it does start live when I go live. Lovely. So we'll get into the parish notes and your comments in just a moment. My working area is just all over the place. So if you hear any banging and clashing, you know I haven't sorted some things out and they've just clattered on the floor. So, oh, that's interesting. Let's do that. So we're yes. That's better. I'll get the gogs off in a minute. But the parish notes, as you will see from Cuban Pete, he says, Rev, it's Palm Sunday. And not a word from either. Says it all. Well, Palm Sunday, I've got a bit of a situation. So I said to Sister Mary and the nuns, I said, can you give us a helping hand with Palm Sunday? The look Sister Mary gave me. And she said, what does that involve? I said, well, no palms, evidently, Sister Mary. Oh, you mean Palm Sunday? I said, yes, what did you think I meant? I just, it's going to get busy in the body of the Kirk over the next week. So I'm going to need as many helping hands as I can get, Sister Mary. Oh, that's okay, then, she says. I've no idea what that mucky old tart was thinking about. But it is Palm Sunday, so the more palms, the better, seemingly. Andy B says, can't make it tonight, Rev, but will be my morning drive listening tomorrow. Have a great show. Thank you, Andy B. I hope you enjoy it Monday morning. Who else? Super Ted. Evening, Adrian. Sat in the sun in sunny Florida, waiting for the sermon to begin. It's better than sat in sunny Redcar. Yeah, but I bet you can't get a lemon top in Florida. Oh, dear Lord. Food of the gods. Battenberg first, and then lemon tops coming close second. Now, if you've never heard, Super Ted will, but if you've never heard of a lemon top, sorry, hang on, I'm just going to write this down. What was that? Yeah. So I'll start with that a little earlier. Super Ted's given me some inspiration this evening. Sorry, I've just seen Leeds and the message. I'll get to it in a second. So if you don't know what a lemon top is, it's a peculiarity to Teesside, and it's the Rea brothers, I think. They were Italian. So you know Chris Rea, the singer. He's part of that family. So he went off and strummed the guitar. They make some of the best ice cream in the world ever. So they make ice cream, beautiful ice cream in the northeast, and then you get some lemon sorbet on top. Not that I'm rubbing it in, Super Ted, but it is one of God's greatest gifts to man, a lemon top. I literally could eat half a dozen. Large, please. Oh, I say, so you want a large lemon top? Damn right. Give me it in a bucket. And there was one memorable day when I was at Radio TFM, I think it was, not Radio T's, at TFM. I had about 6 on one hot, sunny Saturday afternoon while I was in between doing the sports show and then doing the soul show in the evening. Cool, blimey, honestly, I could eat until the cows come home. That's why they call me Skinny Head. They don't, if the truth be known. So welcome, Super Ted. Hope you're enjoying the bloody Florida sunshine, man. No better way to make us jealous. But Super Ted has given me some inspiration. I am going to ask a question in a moment after the parish notes. From Leeds, evening, Adrian. What a weekend. I know. Are you top of the league again? Don't know how that's working out. What, we've got 4 or 5 games left, so it's Leeds, top of the championship. Leeds look like they're a shoe-in to go back to the Premiership. It's between Burnley and Sheffield United for second, but Burnley have put a gap of a couple of points between Sheffield United and themselves, and then, just the shite that is Sunderland, man. Don't even rub it in. We are pathetic. to quote a sports commentator, absolutely bloody pathetic. We're going to get into the playoffs, and I do hope that we don't get third place. We don't go through to Wembley and we don't win because we are simply not good enough. We're a bunch of shite. We're not even a football team. Team, my hairy backside. So thank you, Leeds. Thanks for reminding me how shite Sunderland is and how canny Leeds is like. Because you could get the league this year. Paulie Galtieri, good evening, Adrian. You're utter wrong. Hope you've had a good weekend. Well, so far, Paulie, hopefully this is not going to be ruined by what we do this evening. Tom Harney's evening all. Lovely evening for having a jolly sermon from the Randy Rev and to get the Battenberg and Altar Wine blessing at the same time. Well, it is free, but if anybody brings any in, both Battenberg and Altar Wine, please share it around, share alike. So get stuck in. So welcome, Tom Harneys. Welcome to the body of the Kirk, as ever. Vixtex, big red heart to all out there in the world. Vixtex, welcome to the body of the Kirk. Make sure you can get a lovely seat somewhere. Penny Hen, oh, she's in early. Welcome, Penny Hen, to the body of the Kirk. Hello, everyone. Hello, Penny. Des Ashton, hello, good evening and welcome to you all, you utter wrong-uns of the Battenberg. I hope the Rev is in good form tonight. Feel the need for some needle-sharp analysis. Are you sure you're going to get it here, Des? And Brit 2014 UK, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the body of the Kirk, Brit. Make sure you can get in because the keen, congregation, they like to get to the front. Quite why? Maybe it's a sniff of me aftershave or something. Not quite sure. But I will get into the pulpit in a moment. Sandra Wytham, welcome, Sandra. Hang on a second. Looks like we blowed auto and we'll possibly be playing your lot if we get to final. Oh, Sandra, don't, man. I mean, listen, me and you, if it's Wembley, me and you, we'll go to Wembley. We'll meet up and have a large ones and Battenberg and Altar Wine and everything. And then we'll just laugh our heads off when our teams, well, your team will win by a country mile. Seemingly, Sheffield United, the Blades, are after one of our current team for the next season. So Sunderland will sell anything, even their own daughters or sons, their offspring. So good luck, Sandra. I would prefer, well, would I? Yeah, I prefer Burnley, but they're on a bit of a run. So any of the top three, we're not going to do great against. And it looks like we are going to be fourth and we'll play sixth. And I'm hoping we'll get second rather than third. And looks like it could be Coventry. Now, Coventry, dangerous team. Very, very dangerous team. You don't know who's going to turn up on the day. So, another month, another 6 weeks, Sandra. Oh, what an end to the season. And Phil Levan is in early saying, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Phil Levan. So what we're going to talk about tonight, well, we've done the parish notes because there's not many of them tonight, other than it's Palm Sunday. And seemingly that it's a technical term that we use in radio. I was going to say the wise and the simple. Singularize it. The wise and the... Yeah, him, Starmer, the caring, understanding 90s type. He's put out this tweet again about some religious festival that belongs to somebody who's not from this country. Now, I'm not xenophobic at all, but it's Palm Sunday. Now, that caring, understanding 90s type, if he wasn't with the missus yesterday, because it was not only Shabbat, because his wife's a Jew, his kids are Jewish, so he should have had a Seder night last night, but he's probably going, do I have to wear a turban for Seder night? Seder night, Jewish celebration of the Passover, when God spared the Jews, and you're only allowed, you can't eat bread, can't eat gluten, so from tonight, it's Passover, the next 5 days in Judaism. So you're only allowed to eat matzah. You can't. Have you tried matzah? It's like massive big crackers, and it's fabulous. They made lots of stuff out of matzah. It is a thing of beauty. I am a fan. But he's not even said, enjoy your Seder night last night. So I don't know whether he's trying to not bring any attention to the fact that his missus is Jewish and his kids are Jewish and he's just a twat. I mean, it's not a religion. It's just an observation. No judgments here in the body of the Kirk. I'm a holy man, like, what's his face? Russell Brand. I've got more holes than him, seemingly, and none of mine have been filled up the way he has. He's been to a diddy party, or 2 or 3 or 4. So let's have that out. So holy men, unless they're shagging your kids, or they've buggered off to America because, well, I can't talk any further about that. But I am a proper holy man. No, I'm not going to crack any gags. You're wrong. So in the sermon tonight, we're going to talk about the royals. Is it me, or is it the same stories week in, week out about the freeloaders? And I am a royalist, to be fair, because I have worked for the royal family in my past. I'm not going to talk about it. And I didn't sign an NDA, bizarrely. And well, I have some insights into that. I've worked out what the grooming gangs is all about, the northern grooming gangs. I've worked it out, so I'm going to give you some detail later. We're going to talk about the moon landings. We're going to talk about chemtrails. Have you noticed today how shite the weather's been? I was watching the chemtrails for the last 2 or 3 days thinking, here we go, it's going to rain the weekend. Oh, bugger me, it's going to rain for Easter, our religious festival. Now, it doesn't really matter whether you believe in a religion or not. Me personally, I don't, because they're all kiddie fiddlers. So I don't. I mean, there's Justin Welby come out this week saying, oh, I feel a bit guilt. Mate, you were some high up, the Archbishop of Canterbury, or Banterbury, no, Archbishop of Banterbury sounds better, and you couldn't keep control of your own bloody church. The geezer upstairs, you know, with the white beard and the white frock and the wings and the halo and playing his harp up on a cloud, he's seriously going to send you down to hell. You're not going to get upstairs. Don't matter how much work you've done. You didn't protect the kids. You let others, wrong uns, ne'er-do-well, shag the kids, abuse them and shag them. You ain't going to heaven, mate. Doesn't matter how much you protest. And others in Italy that Charles the Week's just been out to see. Did he kiss the Pope's ring? I mean, how does that work? He's still in a bloody wheelchair. Am I talking too quickly for you tonight? Can you tell the adrenaline's kicked in? Sorry, I am on one, so to speak. Definitely on one. Stephen Hall says the weather's been rubbish today. In a technical term that we use in radio, shite. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the steel industry, and if we have enough time, we're going to talk about Ed Millipede. Well, oh no, I can't do that. Net zero. I mean, how are you, Ed? Why don't you bugger off? I've got, so you know, we've all got carbon footprints. And we're not quite China yet, so we can find those details out. I'm going to give you Ed balls up Millipede. You know, he knifed his brother in the back to get the leadership of the Labour Party. I wouldn't trust that man as far as I can spit him. So, looks like net zero's over. I'll tell you more in a little while. Stuart says, weather here in Dublin has been cold, sunny and rainy. Typical summer's day in Dublin. That's why we all go into the pubs and get absolutely buckled. Phil Levan says, if you go to heaven, you've got to spend eternity with God. Botherers, think about that. Yeah, but you know what they say about female God botherers, don't you? They're the worst. So if you go to heaven, it's not 72 virgins, it's 72 God botherers. Can you imagine? Way out. Des Ashton, all religious denominations, roads lead to hell via Rome. Oh no, that was the Nazis. Yeah, they got out of Germany, through Europe, into Italy. Rome particularly, and the Catholic Church, and they got them out of Italy and down into South America. So the Catholics have Nazi blood on their hands, let me tell you. What else are we going to talk about? Oh, I've got some questions for you tonight. Only 3 or 4. I've just thought of one from Super Ted. Ian McGee. Ian, welcome to the body of the Kirk. It's okay if you're late. Just don't make an issue of it. But I'm here now. Ian, welcome to the body of the Kirk. There is a little bit of Battenberg at the front. If you don't like hard pews, so to speak, if you've got wood, don't tell the nuns, because it's bad enough them tending the bloody cucumber patch. But if you're sitting in the pews and it's a little hard, then the nuns are not going to give you a helping hand. They've told me already tonight. It's Palm Sunday. They're not into that, seemingly. But we do have some cushions that you might be able to sit on and make yourself a little more comfortable. Oi, 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 Retro's ashore. Retro on his bikes. Ahoy, sailors. Retro, stop that. Rum, bum and baggy, Retro. Des Ashton, Retro's back. Break out the rum. I told you. Des knows. So it's rum, altar wine, Battenberg. What else can we fit in there? Welcome, Retro. You are always welcome in the body of the Kirk. So we've got lots to do. So I'm going to kind of get things rolling tonight. We'll get into some of the subjects. Where are you? Where are you? And do not say, I'm in my office, or my bedroom, or my bathroom, or my kitchen, or me. Where in the world are you? We've already got Super Ted, who's in Florida. I'm sure eventually we'll get Napoleon blown apart in the body of the Kirk, and they will be in the US. But where in Blighty are you? If you're in Blighty, or where in the world? I know we used to have listeners in Australia and Canada, but where are you? Because Super Ted is living it large in Florida. So Neil Cunningham, Liverpool, and Derby. Oh, I love Derby, Cuban Pete. Bridlington, Retro, been a while, working really sucks at home. Got to bring the Spondulics in, Retro. Oh, Houston, Texas, Vixtex. West London, Penny Hen in Redcar, by the mighty tower of power that is Redcar Beacon, Penny Hen, Sheffield, Lincolnshire, rural Yorkshire, Essex, Nicky Watson, Kirkburton, Huddersfield, Cheshire, Hemel Hempstead, Matt Wheaton, two of you, Horton, Mandy Sky in Horton. I serve my 6 months every year of my 3-year apprenticeship. My motor vehicle, I'm a motor mechanic, motor vehicle technician and engineer by trade. Did it, can you remember the PWD? The PWD depot in Horton. Is that Hortonley Spring? I worked in there, and there's one memorable day where I was winding up the other mechanics, fitters, whatever you want to call them. Oh, Andy H., Perth, Western Australia. Hang on, are you about 9 hours behind? 9 hours, 8 o'clock in the evening. Oh, I say, most civilised 11 o'clock in the morning. Andy H., Les Griffiths just moved into the doghouse again. I'm with you, Les. I don't know. Please tell me if YouTube keep doing what you said they've been doing, just in case. Mad Matt, UK, 1, 2, 3, Sand Dancer Country. Oh, I say, South Shields, man. Lionel Leighton, evening to you all from Worthing in West Sussex. Going to talk about Sussex of a kind tonight. And Kathy Harper, Bolton, soon to be, Darwin? Bolton, man. Stockton-on-Tees for Tom and Sandra Wytham, Sheffield, obviously. N says PWD depot at Eden Vale as well. Yeah, I worked at both. So 6 months I've been working on the plant stuff out at Horton, where all the hairy backs, the knuckle draggers are from. I moved here 27 years ago, originally from Ashington, Manda. And then 6 months at Eden Vale. There's some stories. See, I don't know. I mean, in today's society, there's stories I could tell you where really, well, it wouldn't be acceptable, to be fair. But when you've got, when you're grown-ass men and you've got some little lippy toe rag who's at you, well, so I'll tell you this story before we get in. Thank you to everyone. I love Anglesey. Oh, but that's beautiful, John Webster. It's Gland in Darren. Neil Cunningham used to live in Bolton. Johnson Fold. All right, okay. You're in, feet under the table. Make sure that there's plenty of Battenberg and altar wine left for the newbies. Napoleon blown apart's in. Evening, young sir. I'm wishing I was in Florida with Super Ted. It's bloody cold here in Massachusetts. That's a Bee Gees song, by the way. And so the how can I? Right. So this might take a couple of minutes. It involves sex. And I can say this on live because you know you can't say the word sex on YouTube because seemingly we human beings do that kind of thing. And, well, it's unfortunately not allowed. It's banned, the word sex. So this takes three parts. The first part was I used to work on road rollers. You know, those big things with big rollers at the front and big rollers at the back that just flatten all the tarmac. Well, I was working on one of those on the engine of the road roller, and suddenly I was grabbed by some of the older mechanics, and they went, "Come here, you lippy little shit." I was like, "Off, get off! Fuck off! I'll kill you all! I'll kill you all! Fuck off!" So there's like half a dozen of them grabbing hold of me. We wear overalls. They pulled me overalls off. They pulled me trousers down and bent me over one of these road rollers. And then how can I put this delicately? The residential gay called Ronnie appeared out of nowhere. "Ooh," he says, "16-year-old derriere," facing him. So I won't go into any further detail other than Ronnie was told. I was going to... Let's just say we go to part two very quickly. But I wasn't best happy at being paraded around. Now, the depot's gone. Most of the lads that worked there will be dead now. So it's fine. I can tell you the story. So I thought, right, bastards, I'm going to get them. I'm going to get them all. So we worked in, as Manda will tell you, in Houghton Spring. It's Houghton, Houghton, and Le, L-E, not français, en français, it's northeastern. Houghton Spring, the usual word. So I thought, I'm going to get them back. How can I do this? Unfortunately, I'm 16. How am I going to do this? I could fight them all, but I think I'm going to come a cropper with some of them. So what's the best thing to do? So every afternoon at 2:30, we used to take a 10-15 minute cuppa break. And there was an urn always on, always had the water boiling for tea at any time of the day. And everybody at 2:30 went into like where we have the bait hut, if you want, the eating hut, the canteen, if you want, a bit more posh, but it wasn't. And I thought, right, I've got it. So I went up in Houghton Spring, where the depot was. You crossed the road, and just up on the right hand side was like the local version of Boots. So I went into this pharmacy, and I said, "Look, I'm here for one of the men that I work with. He's got really bad constipation. How can I? Is there anything that you've got that will help him gently?" And they said, "Oh, there's a bottle of this. It's a laxative. It's a gentle laxative. So all you do is you just add a couple of drops to a big cup, and over the next 2 or 3 days, it will ease the constipation." I said, "Right, I'll take 2 bottles." So I took these 2 bottles, and I went back into the canteen where the urn was bubbling away, and I put 2 bottles, the whole bottles, into this urn of tea, of boiling water. And I thought, right. So I went across the road to where the gentlemen's toilets, because there's only gentlemen working in the depot. So I went there, and I was skinny enough. I mean, I was only 5 or 6 stones, wringing wet, at 16-year-old when I came out of school. So I managed to get some planks of wood. I went under, so I closed the door inside, put some planks of wood across the door so they couldn't open the door. And then I crawled out, and then I went and did a second one. So there was 3 traps, technical term, and 2 of them were barricaded from the inside. So the laxatives in the water, this was about 12:30, I think, a couple of hours, just to kind of percolate away. And bizarrely, it didn't really smell much. And none of them said, "Oh, this water tastes funny." No, none of that. They just, maybe it didn't have a taste, maybe it didn't have a smell. I was too worried about the 2 traps in the 3 trap toilets, the gents. But then I managed to barricade both doors, 1 toilet left. Now I can teach them. So I then made out that I was busy and just went to watch them all go in the canteen at 2:30 and start making their tea and their coffee and the usual. Nobody was any the wiser. And And then I think it was about 20 to the hour, it might have been quarter to the hour, I heard this kind of, from in the canteen. And I went in the canteen and said, lads, everything all right? Oh, I don't know. I might have some food poisoning. What do you mean you got food poisoning? From what? Oh, I don't know. But, I need the toilet. So one runs out and goes in the toilet, locks the door, like a fall of soot is the technical term. And then others start running out, start banging on the toilet. Can't get in this door. What's wrong with this door? Can't get in. Here. Whoever was in the middle trap, get out, man, get out. We need to get in there. And I'm thinking, this is not the way that I planned this to go. I thought it was going to be gentle. I thought this was going to be fine. So there was 20 odd blokes in that canteen. 20 odd blokes were trying to batter the doors down to get to the toilets because, well, their derriere was about to explode. And so I kind of skulked off, obviously I'm not going to fess up. So some of them shit themselves, some of them managed to get to the toilet eventually. It was a quick turnaround. Pebble dashed, what is the operative, Damien Calhoun. Pebble dashed is definitely the obvious. It included all the constipation. And so they kind of had they weren't well that whole afternoon. But, they shouldn't have stripped me and had Ronnie, the local, come and have a look at my 16-year-old derriere. Anyway, somehow, some way, they had a meeting somewhere. And it turns out that my name was the only name in the frame. 25 men in the depot. 26 men in the depot. 25 of them had problems. And I was the only one that didn't have a problem. So somehow they worked out that it was me. There was something in that water and it must have been me. They grabbed me and they put a broom shank through my overalls. So I was kind of like this. And then they hoisted me up 50 foot in the air. And they said, "You're not coming down until you tell us what you did." I said, "I didn't do anything. What's going on with you? There was nothing. I mean, it must have been the water that you put in there. It had nothing to do with me." So a couple of days later, they eventually let me down. A couple of days later, and somebody said, "Oh, can you come down here and help us with this?" And I said, "I'll help you with what? Oh, look, you're the apprentice. Do as you're told. Come here." Because we were always pulling stunts. And so I went down to where they were, and they grabbed me. 4 of them grabbed me and said, "Right, strip him." So they stripped me stark bollock naked. Now, this was kind of late morning because, and this was their revenge. I won't tell you about mine yet. So their revenge was they were going to strip me stark bollock naked. They were going to tie me by the wrists and the ankles to a whole load of wood that had been delivered outside of the depot that hadn't been moved yet. And the reason being that there was a school bus that went past, 12, quarter past 12, and it was blisteringly hot. So they tied me up. No, Chris, they didn't find the bottles. I secreted those somewhere safe so that they wouldn't find out. I mean, they still, until now, didn't know, had no evidence, but they just felt that he's number 26. There was nothing wrong with him. So it must have been him. Not quite sure what he did, but it must have been him. Doesn't matter how hard he protests. So they tied me up, and at quarter past 12, this double-decker bus goes past the front of the Houghtonley Spring PWD, Public Works Department depot, and on it's rammed full of kids and mothers. The mothers didn't know where to look. It was like, "Oh my God, there's a naked man there." And then all the kids were like, "Mummy, mummy, mummy," because they talk like that in Houghtonley Spring. To the shite. But it was like, "Oh, I say, there's a naked man there." So once the bus had gone past, they came and got me and went, "Right, quits." I said, "Quits for what? We know you did something. We know you put something in there. We just don't know what. But that's your punishment. We had you bent over for Ronnie, and now all the local mothers have seen you stark bollock naked." So I'll leave the story at that because the next one was, I don't want to get nicked for it. But honestly, don't trust people from the northeast. We're as mad as a box of frogs, especially when we're from Horton Spring. So there's a little story of how I got the PWD depot back for bending me over and stripping me down for running to get a eyeful of my derriere. So let's get in. So we've done the "Where are you?" question. Thank you very much for all of that. It'll be good to read a little bit later once we get into things. Do you something I found out the other day? Do you know that the origins of the hot cross bun? And I was sitting there talking to somebody, Burlington Bertie. Fuck 'em. I would have thrown punches. Easy to explain to the bosses. Burlington Bertie. There was one guy that we called the Jolly Green Giant. He was Dave, one of the what do you call him, man? One of the lads who wasn't a mechanic. He was just one of the lads that helped out. He must have been 6'8". He was massive. Now I'm not especially a 6 foot tall. The old buffalo, mummy, what's that long thing on that man? Don't know. He's husband material though. And I would never. He was called Davy Jones, bizarrely, and loved David Bowie. So I wasn't taking Davy on because he was just massive. And they were all. I mean, they nearly got me once because look, I'm as mad as a box of frogs. That's all you need to know. And one of them pissed me off. So I lived with a load of women. So I took some tampons in with me, and I found his bait, and I put a tampon in one of his sandwiches for him to find when he had his lunch, and obviously unused. And then the same day, because he really brassed me off. So what I did was, it's a bit like a Harrington jacket he was wearing on the day, if you can remember those. And it kind of zips up the front, has a little bit of a collar. So what I did was, I put the tampon around the collar. So it hung down the back. And so he had to get the bus home. And so he walked out of the depot. I mean, I couldn't believe that he didn't see it. He must have seen it. But I mean, you can't legislate for intelligence with some people. So I think he was one of the instigators of the Ronnie situation. And so the tampon was hanging down the back of his jacket. I can't really remember how I did it. I might have pinned it with a safety pin, but it was hanging down his back. And he had to go on the bus. So all the way on the bus, he's with other human beings. And the tampon, unused obviously, was hanging down the back of his jacket. And he only realised, so he's on the bus for about 40 minutes to go home. And he only realised when he walked in, hello, darling, how was your day? Oh, what's that on the back of your jacket? What's what? What's that? Oh my God, you've got a tampon on your jacket. And so his missus was I mean, she was proper shocked. There was phone calls into the managers, and they were like, somebody's done this, and I had to own up to it. But I was just, it's like a jolly jape. So he was mortified that he'd had to get on a bus with people sitting around him, evidently seeing what was hanging from the back of his jacket. And I said to him, you fuck about with me. It must have been the Ronnie event, because I just had to get the main instigators. But that another one of them, no, I'll definitely stop there, because anything further, I'm not even going to tell you if it's a crime or not. No. But he was more amiable, that old bugger. After I put the tampon on the back of his jacket. I mean, can you imagine his missus? Oh, hello, darling. Oh, what's that? Oh, my God, you've got a tampon hanging down the back of your jacket. Aye, serves yourself bloody right. Now think about how many people you met on the bus, you bastard. But it was gentle. It was back in the late 70s. It was gentle. It was very different times, I must say. So yes, these pesky Catholics. Do you know that Stuart Wellhung tampon? Yeah, wrong one. So I didn't know that where the hot cross bun comes from, not the bun itself, but the cross, spectacles, testicles, wallet and watch. Seemingly, it was for Catholics to know each other by. So if you're sitting there with a bun, I don't know however many hundreds of years ago, you're sitting there with a bun with a cross on, oh, bloody hell, he's a Catholic. And now we're lucky if we get them from Marks and Spencer's. Oh, yeah. Oh, nice Jaeger bomb, Stuart. Phil Levan, I'm in South Wales. Love South Wales. I mean, when I was there with Real Radio, it was just one of the best times of my life. I had, Swansea Girls. I won't go too much into detail, but have you seen the film Twin Town? They're exactly like that. In Twin Town, the Swansea Girls. You're like, but, Jack? Cashless. Oh, lovely book. So my heart does belong, to a certain extent, to everybody in South Wales, because it was a couple of years of just the best fun. And as an audience to a phone-in, everybody was very receptive to it. Again, I've got a million stories that maybe I can't tell on here, because I might get arrested. Was John Myers in charge at Real Radio? Yes, he was, Neil. He was in charge at Century and at Real, and he stepped back when it became Smooth, I think. Poor old bugger went with a heart attack on the golf course. He was a funny guy. He was a funny guy. I do have stories. So far, we've had laxatives, tampons, and now hot cross buns. I love this insanity. Stuart, if you do you know AI? I tried AIing myself the other day, and they got the wrong Adrian. I think it was Adrian Love or something. But they said that my phone-ins were chaotic. Now you're getting it. It was record store day yesterday. It's not a 1 or a 2. It's have I told you the story? Sorry, Neil. Have I told you the story about John Myers finding this presenter watching porn in the studio? So John Myers used to talk like this. Team, have you got any Scooby snacks? I was like, oh, John, you're eating me food, man. Oh, I'm hungry, man. I'm hungry. So I was like, right, okay, I'll get do you want me to order you a pizza? No. Just give me what you've got. That'll do. That'll keep me going. Scooby snacks. Anyway, he went in. I'm not going to tell you who it was. You probably worked it out. Myers was a big boy, proper big boy. And he walked into the studio whilst this person was just scrolling through before any of these doom scrolling websites. That's as far as I'm going to go. Eileen Carter. Cashless, if I can say it properly. Thank you. Because 2 L's is isn't it? I just love South Wales. It's beautiful. And out the Mumbles, out west. Fantastic. So Myers must have been about 6'4", big lad. He would have made an excellent prop in rugby. And he was he was the softest class. He was a lovely guy, soft as, but he was just very intimidating for some people. Didn't intimidate me. We had a fantastic time. It was all over food though. That Jaeger bomb was fantastic. So he walks in and he goes, "Team, what's that?" And this guy's like, I don't know what it was. It just, and seemingly back in the day, there was loads of pop-ups. He couldn't get this thing off the screen, and all the pop-ups were like adult material, blue material. So all these pop-ups were popping, and Myers was literally standing looking at the screen going, Team, what the bloody hell's that, man? And he's like, sorry, team, my office when you finish. So literally finished the breakfast show at something like 9 o'clock, and went upstairs. Team, what the bloody hell were you watching, man? On work computer as well? I don't know. I just went to Google something, and all these pop-ups started. It must be the system, man. It had nothing to do with me. It must have been the system. You're fired. And the poor guy used to have to. He just left. Elvis had left the building. And Myers was, he wasn't a prude or anything, but, certain standards while you're at work. And Team kept the standards up. And this guy that was obviously and evidently, because he went to the engineers and went, here, can we see what he'd been doing. Oh, yeah, we can do that, team. Yeah, we can do that. And they did, and they found it, and it wasn't pop-ups. Oi, oi, oi. He's still on air somewhere. I love him to bits because he's a character. And that's what we need in radio. More money and more character. But I'm going to ask you nice flag book. I'm going to ask a question because it was Record Store Day yesterday, and I was thinking about vinyl. And I was just thinking about some of the albums that I've got. Earth, Wind and Fire, I Am. Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon. No, he didn't get his Scooby Snacks from him. He got absolutely nothing apart from naked women, so to speak. Tom Harney's, I bet there was a pop-up, very good. You see, I'm setting up the gags for you now. Les Griffiths, at grammar school in the 70s, I caught a teacher reading a Rudy mag whilst doing the 5-knuckle shuffle. No way! He's knocking one out in school. It coincided with my grades going up shortly after. Loving your work, Les. Loving your work. In the field. Yeah, exactly. Let's Groove. Karina Jane. I don't think it was that was on I Am. It was Boogie Wonderland and In the Stone and Star. It's a fantastic album. And Dark Side of the Moon. I don't need to introduce that to you. So I was just thinking, for Record Store Day, what was your numero uno album? Not CD, not download. It has to be a vinyl album. What was your number one vinyl album that you bought ever? According to Des Ashton, Five Bridges by the Nice. Oh, good band. Stuart, even better, the Scooby Snacks. So what was your and remember, it was almost a worship service, which fits in to what we're saying. Chris, you're wrong, and brings back memories of my two favourite mags, Parade and Health and Efficiency. Yes, there's a gag there, I'm sure, but I'm being distracted by music. Neil Cunningham, Double Fantasy, John Lennon. Great album, great album. Mud, Slide Slim. Who I say, Lauren? They're like Mud. The White Album by the Beatles, Fixed Text. Depeche Mode, Violator. Fatal Racing Driver. Love me of Depeche Mode. Frank Zappa. Hot Rats, says Lee. And Alan says Blondie Parallel Lines. That's another great album. Ray Norton, now 3. You can do better than that, man, although it was chock-a-block full of hits. ELO, Out of the Blue mag, considering the previous story. Peter Frampton, Live. Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath by Black Sabbath. Under a Blood Red Sky, U2. Oh, yeah, loving that. Everything Must Pass, I think that was George Harrison. Don't Forget the Ladies, Underwater section of Littlewood's catalogue. Yeah, I'm not. I think it was a bit more graphic. Janis Joplin, ooh, what a voice. Wham, yeah. The official school motto was post-mortem Patty Pro go in the shower. I think I've got your measure tonight. I think I know where you're going. Let's concentrate on the music, you're Robin. Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon. Stephen Hall, The Great Rock and Roll Swindle. Oh, Nugie Brown. Fantastic. Hollywood and Broadway, Richard Clayderman. In the Field. Really? What was his best single? Wasn't it Ballade pour Madeleine? Yeah. Terry Wookford, Gary Glitter, 20 Greatest Hits. Terry, don't open the door for me, man. We'll all get sent to jail. Ian McGee, seeing PE teachers in the gym having a proper workout. Oh, I say. Yeah, there was the PE teachers at every school were always at it, weren't they? We had a couple of them. I'm not going to name them. We had a couple of hotties. But then again, lads, 13, 14, 15-year-old, hormones are raging, so they could look like Bella Emberg and they'd be sexy. And, Karina Jane, level 42. The PE teachers were at it. A couple of hotties, always wore short skirts, plenty of thigh on show for 14-year-old boys. No wonder the bloody male PE teachers went all a bit lally. Mad. I was more of a singles-only kid. Yeah. We didn't buy, it's interesting, we didn't buy many albums, but, Mad Matt UK, you can still fit in. What was your favourite 7-inch? Back to the Catholic Church again. So what was your favourite single, Mad Matt? We can go with that for everybody. But favourite album, favourite single if you didn't buy any albums. Love Theme, Barry White, Reg D, cool, blimey. There were more kids born to Barry White's music than anything else. Even modern jazz quartet, Des Ashton, found an old track from a memory stick I had 15 years ago. Sexomatic by the Barkays. Rich, what a tune that is. I'm gonna write that down. I'll because I do kind of that kind of music on Zetland FM on a Saturday 5 through 8. That is a tune. That is a proper tune. The Barkays. Off the Wall, yeah, not bad. Most prolific paedophile in showbiz history, though. Born in the USA, Springsteen, Garen Davis, Neil Cunningham. I Don't Like Mondays. The video was pretty. It was just. Grim, I think is the word to use. Skyscraper, David Lee Roth. And he gay now. Wasn't on the back in the day. Fleetwood Mac's Rumours. Can't disagree with that at all. Who was that? The Old Bovril. Or I'm surprised somebody hasn't said War of the Worlds. I remember listening to the album release with an interview with Jeff Wayne on Metro Radio on the Hot and Heavy Express on a Saturday night. Oh, that still stays with me to this day because it was just really special. Emotive, very emotive radio. Mike Oldfield's Tubular Bells. I've got that on the walls here somewhere. You can't see it, but I've got it hung up. Albatross, love it. Bells, Terry Wookford. Right, let's get into. I'm going to start doing something called headliners. So I'm going to get into some like more serious stuff. Just allowing you to get your feet under the pew, and the headliners today. It's just a little bit, just to kind of throw them at you, just to keep you engaged. Oh, Kraftwerk, Autobahn, Ray Norton. That was a tune. I think I've got Neon Lights in neon vinyl somewhere. It's worth a ton now. Stephen Hall says I've got War of the Worlds on vinyl. It was just it was an amazing interview, obviously pre-recorded, but they just interspersed the interview with some of the songs, and it was Doxy. Are you still on the radio, Adrian? Yeah, I do. You know, it's a commercial radio station in the northeast of England on Teesside. I can't remember who it was. They said they were from Redcar. It's out of the mighty tower of power that is Redcar Beacon. On a Saturday, 5 through 8. Plays like, you know, a bit of disco, a bit of funk, bit of soul, a bit of kind of everything. But it's sort of R&B. So, yeah, Doxy, still do, a little bit. Kenny G, What Does It Take? I interviewed and met him, Karina Jane. That wasn't Kenny G, What Does It Take? It was that Kashmir? No, it might have been Kenny G. But a great song all the same. Les Griffiths. Ooh, that last on Chris Rea's Stainsby Girls vid. You know what they say about Stainsby Girls, don't you? Two sure things in life. Death and a Stainsby girl. Retro on his bikes. Oh yeah, Mike Oldfield freaked me out when he said Tubular Bells. It's a great album. Tubular Bells is such a great album. And one of my music lessons, I was hoping to go and play my cello because I'm a classically trained cellist. And we went in the music lesson and I was thinking, oh, brilliant. And the teacher walked in and said, I've got stuff to do. Listen to this. And just put Tubular Bells on, both sides. I was like, sir. Nightclubbing, Grace Jones, Pull Up to the Bumper, Baby. Mad Matt UK, Chris Rea's Let's Dance. That's a great song. Great song. So just some of the headlines kind of hitting the news today. Two slightly distorted guitars. They were, Des. But didn't he play everything on that album? I mean, what a talent. And he set up Beardy and Virgin. I mean, if it wasn't for Tubular Bells, I was never a lady killer as a young man, but I could. Les, you're utter wrong. And the Old Bovril, Bangladesh have issued an arrest warrant against Tulip Sadiq. I saw that before I came on air because it was from my memory and the reportage in the newspapers. Wasn't it Tulip Sadiq's auntie that was at it? Now, because I don't want to sort of go any deeper on that unless I've got my notes in front of me. Because if there's a legal case, you can expect if anybody starts talking about online, they'll get their knees done. Did you hear about the woman who was arrested for taking her children's iPads off them? I know, Stuart. It's we can talk about that, but the amount of stuff that I've got, we're probably going to end up doing 4 or 5 hours. Maybe I'll pass a comment tomorrow. Strawberry Switchblade, yeah. Didn't they do? What was their hit? I was at Rock FM at the time in Preston. Strawberry Switchblades. A couple of girls, one dark hair, bit of a goth. Can't remember. Police State UK. It is, Stephen. It is. I mean, can you imagine? Like, look, all I'm going to say is the cops have it tight. Because people like me and you, if we need them, we pick the phone up and we want them there as quickly as possible. But they're being told what to do by the higher-ups. Have you noticed that most of the police forces in this country have a fully white executive at the top? Oh, we can't have. Yeah, you can. Yes, you can. And they can stop that. So they'll have a go at the cops on the street, the response officers. But it's all right for those at the top, like your assistant and your deputies and chief constable. In the majority, they're all white. How does that work in Northern Police Forces then? Oh, yeah, good point, says Terry. Be on the receipt of a report of theft from the ex-partner. Yeah. In the field since yesterday. Police responding to a theft of Pringles. I mean, the poor response cop. No, and there's a load of cops leaving in their droves because they've had enough of what they're being told to do, and they don't believe in it. But the higher-ups will go, well, if you want a pension and if you want promotion, you're going to have to do as you're told. And ultimately, they just go, oh, here, stuff it. I'm off. Because it's not a vocation. They can go and be a YouTube influencer and make more than a cop. Because I think is their starting wage about 21 grand plus shift allowances and stuff. That's not a lot to be paid for rolling around with scroats on the floor and dealing with all, being spat at and dealing with all kinds of stuff. It's just not on. No wonder they're struggling. And then the Labour Party says, oh, yeah, we're going to put 13,000 extra bobbies on the street. Hadaway and shite, man. Where are you getting them from? The emergency cupboard that's got like 13,000 cups in it, so you pull them out and stick them on the street. No, don't be stupid. It takes time to process them, get them through basic training, and then get them on the streets. The politicians, they are inept at worst. Sorry, inept at best and corrupt at worst. So one of the headlines, Ed Millipede today, it's come out that he's fearing the sack. Now, knowing Ed Millipede's look, it's probably a cockeyed circumciser, so it'll be a schmeckle too. Are you aware, because this is not really being reported, it's only in one newspaper, Little Columage. Can you remember the woman that died in the river, Nicola Bulley? So that was, where are we, 2 years ago now? January 2 years ago. Did you know that, well, she didn't have a will, so her estate was left intestate. So they had to sort it out over the last couple of years. But she left £200,000 to her 2 children. Her sister and her partner. I'm not sure whether it was husband or just partner. So the kids are getting it. But Nicola Bulley. How do you make 200 grand? She was just an office jockey, wasn't she? I mean, I've worked hard all my life. I've got 200 grand sitting there in a bank account. Thank you, Terry. Partner, they weren't married. River Derwent, it's where I live, says I see you. So I looked at this thinking, if they'd released this, she left £200,000 to her 2 children, might have been more, but after tax. So the government, the filthy government, have taken their tax cut off that. So how can they do that? If the partner has been living with her for more than 2 years, the Matrimonials Housing Act states that you are living together as, certainly in Scotland, common law man and wife. So maybe he gets a cut. But what's she doing with all that money? Was there an insurance policy? They haven't told us that. But it's one of those that they just kind of, they're trying to slip under the radar. I doubt whether anybody's going to pick this up tomorrow in any of the other nationals. They'll just let it die. DG Audits got a lot of stick for covering it. Yeah, I know, Manda. And they were blaming online influencers or YouTubers. They were every which way but loose. Les Griffith says a Labour MP claims 900 per annum expenses for someone to look after a dog. I know. Oh, it's corrupt. It's corrupt. If you're earning that much money, you don't need to pay somebody. Was it 9,000 per annum, Les, rather than 900? All your expenses are paid for. The food within Parliament is subsidised, so it's dirt cheap, as is the alcohol. Yeah, we can tell. No, it was 200k, Alan, was her estate. I think you can, it's up to 320,000 for one. And if you're married, I think it's 640,000 in that you can just pass over without any tax. So I don't know how much. It must have been over 320 if they've taken a shed load of taxes. But it just, forgive me for being a cynical old tart, but can you imagine if that came out a few weeks after she died? There would have been loads of people going, this smells a little bit off. But she died in January 2023. And I would have thought it would have, I mean, it could be challenged, but maybe he's doing the right thing and just looking after the kids, because they had kids together, didn't they? Did you see the story about HMP Franklin? About the brother of one of the Manchester Arena bombers. He's there's a prison guard fighting for her life. Others have been stabbed. And he was part of the planning, or the plotter, so to speak. So he's kicked off with hot oil. Now, call me naive, but it's a prison. Where do you get the hot oil? What, do you boil it in a kettle? I mean, I know the sugar and hot water thing. I've never heard of hot oil because I don't know how they would get it. But he's not getting out. Man, this guy says he's pure evil. I completely agree. But HMP Franklin's Durham. And it's a high security prison. So evidently they've got him in there for a reason. They're not going to move him. But a high security prison allowing guards to be stabbed and have hot oil poured over them. Wow, Les, I lived near Durham jail when McVicker escaped. And he was a proper tasty boy. Proper, no fear. Proper tasty. Out of Glasgow, proper tasty. And then turned his life around. Maybe it's a night for stories. If I get time, I'll tell you my McVicker story in Fayed's office block on the Brompton Road. I agree, Alan. Some high security of this guy in HMP Franklin. It's supposed to be high security prison. So I think there'll be an inquiry. Somebody somewhere's dropped a bollock. But who? Terry says only 10 or 11 prisoners in the high security at Franklin. Well, somebody somewhere has literally dropped one, because that kid has poured boiling oil, and I'm not sure whether it's the boiling oil that's caused the really serious injuries or whether it's the stabbing, but there is a prison guard fighting for her life. I'll leave some of those news articles for a little later. We'll talk about the uncivil servants and it's Dear 7 in the Big Brother household. We'll talk about that later. I want to ask you a question. When was the last time you went to take some money out of an ATM? And would you agree, this is the question, that the ATMs seem to be disappearing off the high street. Because I know at my my local supermarket, they used to have 3 ATMs, and now they've gone down to 1. In the field said midweek, do you get charged for it in the field? Because I think the ones that they're leaving are the ones that will charge you £1.25 or something to take money out. But right, so people are still using them, and obviously there's local ATMs to you, so you know where to go to get the money out. Tesco Express, no charge. I know in the field that's so. My local Tesco, 3 ATMs down to 1, always a queue. Derek Tomlinson says 2 weeks ago, Adrian, and yes, I was looking around for ages. 4th of April, post office, no charge. Brilliant, madman. So it's just me that being a cynical old tart. I just thought, hang on a second, the ATMs are disappearing. Because soon enough, and it won't take Einstein to predict this, soon enough they'll stop you. It'll be all cashless. They'll stop you from dragging the cash out. Many shops in the historic street where I live only take cash. Brilliant, Les. Because I was talking to my Turkish barber, and I said, do you take cash or do you take a card? And he said, oh, have you got cash? I said, no, that's why I'm asking if you take a card. He said, oh, we prefer cash. And I said, I bet you do. OCG by any chance? Is there a Mr. Big in the background? My Tesco used to have 4, now down to 2, and 1 is always out of order. Nicky Watson. Yeah, I know they want a cashless society. We'll get to that, because I don't want to bamboozle you with loads of data, because it just is insufferable sometimes. Terry Wookford says, Turkish barber, laugh my arse off, getting something to smoke. No, not including me hair. No, my body is a temple. I go there to worship. Plenty. Manda Sky, I will play with cash only till the bitter end. I will pay with cash only. Brilliant, Manda. It's the WEF plan. I know. So they're going to try and stop the access to cash, and I think it'll be over the next couple of years. Remember, they're going to give you a solution to a problem you never knew you had. And there's Charles Linton, Tony the Blair, Bow Street Magistrates. He wants IDs. So they'll make sure that you can't get access to cash, you can't move around. They'll make sure that you buy... oh, by the way, there's a car exploded at Gatwick Airport. Seemingly, it was driving out of the airport and it was smoking. Back to Terry, must have been to a Turkish barber's. Been smoking. So people ran and tried to put it out, and it just went boom. So I'm not sure it's a terrorist attack. I'm not sure it's anything nefarious other than it's probably an electric car. So we'll wait and see. But cars don't go boom. I mean, it must be the only one for decades. Social credit score, you will only be allowed to spend when and on what they say, according to Des Ashton. What did I see today? I'm having to drag this out the back of my head. No, I can't remember. I saw something today. I thought, ooh, that's a bit nasty. So they're not going to be allowing you to do anything unless you fall in line with the local Communist Party. Corbyn's communal catamite, comrade. 2 Spanish firefighters killed by an exploding EV last week. So, well, it's at... just watch out for it tomorrow, because it's on social media. It's not in the daily newspapers. And let's see how they report it tomorrow, because Gatwick Airport was shitting themselves, according to the reports I saw. So let's wait and see how they report it. Don't think it's terrorist. I just think it's an electric vehicle. But then again, that's possibly worse than a terrorist attack. They can do something about the terrorist attack. I just want to pass a comment about... interesting. The Bad Wolf Project says the 2nd and 3rd cash heaviest regions were Yorkshire and the Humber and the North East. and Yorkshire was the only region where the average increased. Hang on. Published today by Link, the UK's cash access and ATM network shows that consumers withdrew almost 80 billion from cash machines in 2024, a 1.2% reduction on 2023. Wow. I mean, I love the fact that people are using cash. They're not buying into the usual bullshit from the politicians and WEF and Tony Blair et al. But just popping in to say hi. Hope all well. Apologies. We'll catch up. Addicted to thrill of the fall. Flipping bang. Binge watching. Amalia, may your soul ever rest in heaven. Come back and watch it tomorrow. Reg Varney, Terry Wookfit on the buses. Maybe I should have mentioned this a little earlier, but it is a bit of a stream of consciousness tonight. The Storm of the Harmer. So he mentions Eid, and seemingly today is a Hindu festival. What's a Hindu? Lays eggs. It's like asking a South African, what's sex? What hens lay. Les Griffith says, a neighbour who has a small business was twice refused requests for 10k withdrawals. That's because they've not got it. The minute you put your money into a bank, they're lending it out to other people, so they technically don't have it. You've got to call them up and go, can I have me 10k, please? Or can you give us a couple of days? Cashless and subscriptions to everything. They've got you then. I know, Andy, what was the... God, there's been so much happening this week that I'm having to drag some of this stuff. Like I say, watch out, everyone. Tom may need the gents soon. He says the wine is the altar wine is going down well this evening, starting to get a little squiffy. Battenberg, Tom, Battenberg, it'll sober you up. Stuart says start using cash again, just in case card machines aren't working. And the new Mrs. Allen, I took her out for our anniversary and I said, I'll just pay with my card. She come back and went, your card don't work. I was like, hang on, there's plenty in there. No, she didn't tell me that she didn't ask for me PIN. So I must have reached the £100 limit or whatever it was. But I still maintain that over the next 2 years or so, they're going to the ATMs are going to start and disappear. No, we'll leave the religion thing to a little bit later on. Keep your eyes open, literally, pun intended. Keep your eyes open for RFK Jr. You know, the guy that Trump has just co-opted onto his administration. I'll get to that in a second, Retro. Seemingly, there's a video doing the rounds. He's a bit of a shagger, according to rumour. Whether there's any truth in it, it's social media. But he's a bit of a shagger, according to my sources. And, well, if you look at it, Big Pharma, thinking or knowing that he was going to get the position that he's got, they will have kept this in their back pocket. So now that he's in there and he's saying we're going to look at the jibber jabbers and we're going to bring all the data out in September around the increase in autism in children, we will work out what has happened to make that an effect. Les Griffiths, did you see the post about the NASA helicopter? What, the one that went into the river? Was that NASA? What is more concerning, that banks will start to reduce the amount of money you can daily withdraw from ATMs. Another, the Bad Wolf Project, another good point. But honestly, just keep an eye open, because RFK is keeping a bit of a low profile. It looks like the Big Pharma is not happy with him, because obviously he's going to affect the bottom line. That is profit. So they don't care. They're all evil, as far as in my view. Karina Jane, Amateur at the Cinema on Friday. Fantastic movie. Is it? Is it just a one word, Karina Jane? My local Asda are paying 3 wangers to stand around to scan carrier bags at the self-service checkouts only have 2 on the manned tills. Is that because people are nicking stuff? So they'll swipe through the cheap thing, but not swipe through the expensive thing. Look, I mean, I would feel too guilty. I don't know about you. I couldn't go to the self-service and just bang a few things through. But, you know, some people are. Not made like me. Keep your eye open for RFK video coming to... thank you, Dean. Big Pharma, look, it's conjecture at the moment, but it is highly interesting that RFK, they found a shagging video, obviously just, you know, man and woman, but behind his wife's back. They suddenly are releasing that into the public domain to try and destroy his reputation. Oh, that's Epstein and Diddy and the Israelis and others. That's what they do. They just get something on you. As I've said in the past, what have they got on Sir Keir Starmer? What have they got? Because he's just doing as he's told. Left, right and centre, doing as he's told. I will tell you this, that I'm doing some research into a kind of shadow organisation that I can't believe their agenda. I know he is, Terry, but, you know, can't say that out loud. You can comment, but I certainly can't. Can you imagine Lord Ali? He's a billionaire, taking me on. So they've got something on RFK. They're going to create as much damage as possible. And I think, to be fair to RFK and Trump, they're obviously going to keep their heads down, both of them, for a little while. And then the reason why I'm telling you this is keep your eye open for when it's released. It might be released just in time for all this data to come out about the jibber jabber and autism. Honestly, they're at it. They're at it continually. Let me tell you about... sorry, knock knock. Who's there? Sniffy. Sniffy who? Have you noticed something? The most famous man on the planet, one of the most famous men in all the reportage, and visiting people in the White House and then leading your country at war. Where is he? Literally, where is he? Where's Sniffy? What's he done? Flown out to Colombia to get some more marching powder. Where is he? And there's some reportage, oh, don't you be bloody sending drones over here, mate, we'll have you. Well, I didn't see him say that. International media, covering something up. Where's Sniffy gone? If you have a clue, in the comments, please. I would have said send a postcard in. But he's definitely MIA, missing in action. Knob jockey, says Des. Amish have 0 autism, ADHD. They don't take the jabs. I know, Ray, but it's like the amount of jabs that kids have to have. It's just insane. They've got everything that they need. Nature gives it to them, so long as they're taking the teat, so to speak. Cuban Pete bends for a friend. Bend it like Beckham. Paulie Gallieri. Adrian, have you seen all the footage of the Ukrainian nightclubs? Yeah, I have. They're not being bombed, are they? So it's almost like a simulation. Well, some people say it's a simulation. But he's disappeared. And Putin's like, oh, just send some bombs across, send some drones. We'll bomb the shit out of them. Because when they send the, it's not intercontinental, the ballistic missiles that hit the ground at Mach 4, then that was him saying, oi, you're wrong uns, stop doing that, otherwise I'm going to bomb the shit out of you. And everybody went, oh. They didn't see it coming. Ian says he's in the Blag flower farm. Easy for you to say, after 2 Jägermeisters. that hurt. The Amish don't go to normal hospital or doctors, so they wouldn't get a diagnosis for autism. Doesn't mean they don't get it, but they do look healthy. Look, I'll nail my colours firmly to the flagpost. Look, if I break a leg or something that I'm going to need, like x-rays and stuff for, then I'll go to my doctor or I'll go to A&E. But I trust them about as far as I can spit them. Oh, stick me on metformin for the rest of my life. In the words of the great Chinese philosopher, Foxtrot Oscar. Not having it. And when I sat down with my doctor and he said, right, you're going to die of he says 2016, right? You're going to have a heart attack or a stroke. I said, doctor, if I have a stroke in here, I'll get arrested. No, you might have a heart attack. Well, okay, I'm going to do the Newcastle diet. What's that? He says. I said, have you not heard of Professor Roy Taylor at Newcastle Resonance Centre? No. Let me just have a look. Oh, I say. Oh, the Newcastle diet, 800 calories a day. Oh, that's a bit brutal, Mr. Allen. I say, well, it reversed me bloody diabetes, you wrong'un. Oh, I say. So anyway, 12 weeks later, I've reversed my type 2 diabetes with Professor Roy Taylor's Resonance Centre's diet. 800 calories. You know the diet that Michael Mosley stole from Professor Roy Taylor? Yeah, him, the one that died. Now his fucking son is coming out going, well, you don't need to take Ozempic because I've got an 800 calorie diet that'll work. Oh, here, mate, on the grift. Using your dad's name with a diet that your dad nicked from somebody else. Oh, doctors, honestly, I'd take a nuclear bomb to the fucking lot of them. Oh, I just want to make a couple of million. Yeah, I bet you do. Oh, well, I stayed at school for 8 years to become a doctor. Yeah, thieving bastard. In my view. Because that 800 calorie diet came out of the Newcastle Resonance Centre. And Michael Mosley couldn't believe his luck when he found it. Stuart, is that where Michael Mosley got that 800 calorie diet from? Yeah, he nicked it. But you see, Professor Roy Taylor is such a wonderful man. He wants it to benefit mankind. But Michael Mosley, and you know his missus is a dietitian. And now the son wants to do the work of Michael Mosley. Oi, 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 oi. I hope he sees this, you thieving bastard. I know where that 800 calorie diet came from. It wasn't your father, wasn't your mother. It's not you either. Professor Roy Taylor, the Resonance Centre in Newcastle University. Aye, out of way and shite. Now, it might be that, Dr. Michael just passed it on to his son and his son has no knowledge. Well, I'm giving you an education. You've been and had an education to become a doctor. I'll just add this to your little resume. Professor Roy Taylor, Newcastle Resonance Centre. Or just Google Professor Roy Taylor. What I'm telling you is the truth. You can Google him. He's a fantastic man. And for decades, he's been saying and promulgating that type 2 diabetes is a lifestyle choice and you can reverse it. And I've got an interview with Professor Taylor that I'm going to put up on this channel. And within that interview, he just says, look, some people are predisposed to type 2 diabetes. Type 1, you're born with it. You need insulin injections. Type 2, it's your fat gob shoving shite down there that gives you type 2 diabetes. And everybody goes, oh, I'm on metformin. Well, fucking get off it then. Wow. So Judy Finnegan was photographed leaving an Ozempic clinic in Harley Street 3 months ago. Look, there's who was the actor in Black Mirror dropped on Thursday, and I'm 4 episodes in. I'm not going to talk about it until I've seen all 6 episodes. But honestly, this 800 calorie diet, if done correctly, completely reverses type 2 diabetes. Completely. It's not easy. I mean, at one point, I thought I was dying. I'd gotten about, 4 or 5 weeks in and was keeping under 800 calories. I was also doing a bit of a workout, a bit of a run. And there was one Sunday, I thought, and I lived on my own at the time, I thought, this is not good. I don't feel right. So I went to bed, woke up the next day, felt even worse. And I thought, oh, do I call the doctor? Do I go to A&E? Or do I just sleep this off for another 24 hours? Woke up on the Tuesday as if it was night and day, as if the clouds had parted, as if I had a Simpsons cloud and sky, lots of blue, not so much white. And I thought, whoa, I felt amazing. It must have been something, my body dealing with all the sugar. And look, I can hold my hands up and say, I can eat sugar. If it was an Olympic sport, I'd be a gold medalist. But that was when I did the diet and turned it around. And to the point where after 12 weeks, my doctor says, right, come in, we're going to do another blood test on you, see how you're doing. And the day after, I went in and he's like, right, I will have a look at your results. Fucking, oh, sorry, Mr. Allen. Wow. He could, and this was a diabetic specialist. That was the area of speciality with a GP doctor in the Northeast. He'd never seen anybody that had done the Newcastle diet or the 800 calorie diet. And neither had some of the nurses that I know. Nobody that heard of it, but they'd never seen anybody do it. And he said, what did you do? I said, I did Professor Taylor's diet. I told you I was going to do it. He said, but you've my sugars were up at 20 odd something. I was heart attack territory for the next day. And he said, you've completely reversed it. I said, I know. So give that to all your patients. Professor Roy Taylor, 800 calories. But then Michael Mosley nicked it. Honestly, I mean, my gob's going to get me into trouble. But I will tell you, I have reversed my type 2 diet. It's now diet control. So if I shove a load of shit down my neck, I'll just do some intermittent fasting for 5 days, and I cut all my sugars and breads and pastas and everything that gluten-free, dairy-free, alcohol-free, and I just restrict my diet, and it's fine. So the more you do it, the easier it gets. Correct. Nicky Watson. It definitely has changed my life. Oh, Nicky, did you use the 800 calorie diet? It's just, I like the truth, and I like the way the truth works. So Michael Mosley's son, 2-page spread in, was it the Mail today? I just thought, no, Bonnie lad, you're now on the grift. Ray Norton. Fasting cleanses the liver, clean liver, healthy body. As I sit here drinking another beer. Oh, I've one for me, Ray. No Battenberg, no J-bomb, no life. Correct. You're a long time dead. Love a bit of pleasure, mate. Before you say anything, let's get into the Royals before we get into the moon landings, because I want your opinion on the moon landings tonight. Michael Mosley, who was intelligent enough to not have his phone with him, and so walk on terrain that was unknown to him on the hottest day with little water, that intelligent man, his son pushing jab. Really, Burlington Birdie. I don't trust him. I mean, look, come and have a kebab and get a free jab. Come and have some freebies and have a free jab. Because Big Pharma know, and I'm not going to hold back with this, Big Pharma know that once you're dead, you're not a very good customer. But if they can keep you chronically ill for decades on the cusp of death, whoa, what a customer you'll be. And they get all the money out of the NHS. What the NHS should do is turn round and say, you can have away and shite. We're not paying for that. Where did you get that from? Which natural occurring plant did you get that out of the Amazon from? Because when I went to Peru on my honeymoon, the shaman said to me in broken Spanish and English, yeah, we had the cure to COVID. We took it to the government and the government refused it. And then they're telling me about this cactus, that cactus, this tree, that plant, and ayahuasca. And so I did a retreat, 7 days. We did ayahuasca 5 times. And I did San Pedro once. And ayahuasca, it cleaned me out. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but we're back to PWD in Oakley Spring again. It cleaned me out, because what it does is the intelligence within the plant and Mother Ayahuasca, it just goes around your body and goes, right, we need to get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of whatever poison. And they say before you go out there for at least 10 days, you've got to follow a particular diet so that the ayahuasca doesn't react badly to it. So when people go, oh, I threw up, that's because it's the ayahuasca purging all the poisons from in your body. And if you look at the food that we eat today, I'm not judging anyone because I'm as bad as anybody else, but the food that we eat on a daily basis, it's not food, it's poison. Because if it's wrapped up or in a box, it's poison. It's not food. It's not naturally occurring food. So the shaman, after my, the first ayahuasca ceremony was 6 o'clock Saturday night. By 9 o'clock, I literally had my derriere exploding in the Amazon jungle. I thought I was next to death. But we sorted that next time. So that's what I was going to say to you. So it's called purging. And what the ayahuasca does is it goes through your body and releases poison and toxins. So it's healing you from the inside. That's why the Peruvians or the shaman in the Amazon jungle that we went to, this healing retreat, they believe it to be medicine. I now believe it to be medicine. And none of these social media climbers or any of the experts that you hear and they go, oh yes, I've done ayahuasca. I did 5 in 7 days because it's medicine. I'm type 2 diabetic. I'm getting on, so my joints are starting to creak a bit. Wow, that's interesting, Les. So they kind of looked after me for a couple of days, but once I went into huachuma is the Peruvian word for it. So the huachuma is the male balance to the female ayahuasca. The ayahuasca is a supplicatory medicine. So it just cleans your whole body out. And I will tell you, I used to get really bad. I don't want to tempt fate, but I used to get really bad leg cramps during the night. They're awful. They're awful, awful, awful. I did ayahuasca the week of doing the medicine in Peru, and I've not had a single leg cramp since, and I had them for years. I was taking loads of magnesium to try and balance it all out. That week healed me. And if you've had leg cramps in bed during the night, oh, they're painful. So when people talk about 800 calorie diet, that'll be Professor Roy Taylor's, and he'd been banging on about it for decades. He wanted people to get on the diet to turn it around naturally, and other doctors nicked it. Other people were like, yeah, cut out your potatoes and all your starches and all your carbs and do this, and stay on an 800 calorie diet. It works. It's Professor Taylor's Newcastle diet. You can put Newcastle diet into Google and it'll come up for you. Les Griffiths, what did you... Wow. Les, me and you need to have a chat away from this because I'm very keen to know what they are stopping you. Maybe it's to do with the jab or Charlie 19. But I'd love to know what they're censoring, Les. So all these, I don't trust us as doctors as far as I can spit them. But that's just me. I would never give you any medical advice. I would never say, do this, do this, do this. I'm just telling you my life experience. And my life was changed and turned around by going into the Amazon jungle with this, it's called Kausei. I think they've changed since we were there. They're doing other things. Because the shaman, I had 3 shaman, 1 family. So I'd like granddad shaman, dad shaman, and grandson shaman. And these men were incredible. They get thrown out into the jungle. They've got to survive for a few weeks or a month or something without any way of any food. So these were very, very special men. And they said to me, you're feeding your body poison. Stop feeding your body poison. So I said, oh, right, thanks very much for the advice. I'll have a beer. Really, Les? Criticise? Oh, wasn't Starmer the Harmer, was it? Was it kind of the government or particular politicians? That's why we have to use code words here. Burlington Birdie, 5 comments censored tonight for me. Again, was it about the left, Burlington Birdie? Well, Stuart, the thing about ayahuasca, A-Y-U-A, A-Y-A-U, ayahuasca, S-K-A, I think, off the top of my head. The challenge with ayahuasca is it's illegal in this country because it contains DMT. No, I'm not going to go down the clever route. So DMT is included in ayahuasca, so you get visions. But it's medicine in Peru. It's medicine in South America. You can go to certain places in America where it's kind of legal and certain churches use it, but it's illegal in this country because of the DMT contained in it. I mean, look, we were in a hotel pool in Iquitos in Peru, and this American comes across and he goes, "Are you?" Not sure, Paulie. I think it was Graham Hancock that's one of the core celebs around ayahuasca, and Joe Rogan who's done it. And this guy comes up to us in the pool and he says, "You here for the ayahuasca?" Because obviously the Westerners look a particular way. And we said, "Oh, yeah, we're just about to go out to a retreat." And he said, "Yeah." He said, "I've gone hardcore." He said, "I'm licking frogs." And I was like, "Yeah, what?" He said, "Yeah, there are certain frogs in the Amazon that excrete DMT, and they just give you the frog. You just lick the frog." And I'm like, "Oh, mate, here, it's bad enough in tea. You're licking frogs." And he went, "Oh, yeah, it's hardcore. But yeah. It was like willy waving around ayahuasca." But some of the people online, the purging, you react to ayahuasca one of 3 ways. There might be others, but these were the normal 3. You will throw up. You will have massive yawns. I mean, literally, like you feel your head splitting open. Huge yawns, and/or you get goosebumps on your skin. Your skin reacts as if it's dealing with heat. And that was the one that I got. I got some throwing up the first night, but it was literally the minute the tea went in, it was like, "Whoa, get rid of all this shite, get rid of everything, get rid of it. Oh, he's full of poison, man. Oh, he's eating some right rough stuff. God, get rid of it." But second night, so I didn't really. I thought I was dying. I mean, I collapsed and I thought I was dying, and I thought, "Oh, maybe." So one of the shaman came out and did some kind of magic stuff over me because they thought, "Is he dying?" So they did some incantations and stuff, and then the owner of Cauce, he was like, "Can you stand up?" "No, my legs have gone. I feel like I'm really drunk. I feel like I've had loads of alcohol, but I'm as sober as a judge." He said, "Oh, come on." So they chucked me in bed and said, "We'll bring your clothes back after we've washed them." So I didn't really get. It cleansed me from within. It got rid of everything that was inside of me. BitChute gone now. Really, Stephen? And so the next morning we go back for a debrief, couple of hour debrief. We have floral bath, so they pour waters and certain flowers all over you to kind of rebalance things. And I can't recommend ayahuasca highly enough because it's a medicine. And I think the political classes, the parasitical classes, they don't want you to get any idea of anything other than the matrix that you are within. Do as you're told. You're a cash cow. Just keep giving us money so we can have nice holidays and we can have millions in the bank. Ask Nancy Pelosi. And pretty instant, but then was hit a miss. Stuart, you might like the yawning, but you don't choose it. It's Mother Ayahuasca. It will give you what you need. So I kind of chucked up a bit, and you get to know people really quickly. There was 11 of us in the same room in the Maloka, it's just this big round room that we were all sat in with a sick bowl, on our knees, and everybody that there was one lad from, where was he? I think he was Slovakian or Serbian, and he was always first to start chucking up, always first, and it was massive, multicoloured yawns. They were proper chucking up, and he said, like, the first time he said, and this is why you have to be cautious and do your research. He said, I've gone blind in one eye, and I was like, fucking hell, how bad is this? And then I'm out, dying, can't walk, can't do anything, and I'm thinking, whoa, I've brought me the new Mrs. Allen to this, and this is as rough as a badger's backside. How am I going to kind of reconcile this with it tomorrow? And she, so after the first night, which was pretty rough for both of us because we didn't know what to expect, and everybody else was the last meal we had was lunchtime, and I think everybody brought that up into the bowl, but took it away. There was lots of dignity. So the next one was the next night, the Sunday night. We did it again, but this time I had massive yawns. The ayahuasca had worked on the poison in me, got it out, and then I had the massive yawns, and then I had the heat. But I'd had the heat the night before, and those from the northeast will know what I'm saying. I just said to the owner, I said, look, I'm from Sunderland in the northeast. We don't do heat very well. Send us to the Antarctic, we'll wear 2 T-shirts. We don't feel the cold, but I can't handle the heat. And I said, I just think that I've got heat exhaustion or something. He said, oh, really? I said, yeah, it's the heat. Stick me under a shower, stick me under a cold shower, and I'll be fine. It wasn't, it was the ayahuasca. But so it's called a purge because it's never the same way twice. It could be the sick initially while it's getting the poison out of your body. It might be the yawns, which are, very tiring. But the heat, the pimpling of your skin all over your body. And did I see anything? Oh yeah, of course. Prickly heat type reaction. Yes, that's exactly it, Terry. A prickly heat type of reaction. And all I wanted them just to shove me under a cold shower, an ice cold shower, because that would take my core temperature down. That's how I survived July, mostly. Very cold showers and staying out of the sun. I'm in the bloody Amazon, 35-degree heat or more. And I'm like, which daft arse decided this would be a really clever thing to do? Nikki Watson says, how long did it last? It's 3 hours up, 3 hours down. The huachuma, which again is a cactus, and they have to boil the cactus from the Thursday, so it's almost a 24-hour boil to get the huachuma out of the cactus. And the huachuma is 6 hours up, 6 hours down. So we started the ayahuasca at 6 p.m. on the Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday. No, we did it 4 times, not 5 times. And then there was Then it was a day off on the Monday and a day off on the Thursday to get us ready for the huachuma on the Friday lunchtime. And as I say, 6 hours up, 6 hours down, like peyote. Yes, Les, exactly it. But it's a particular plant, and ayahuasca is a mixture of both a cactus and a plant, and the expertise is in the mixing of the ayahuasca. So after doing it 4 times, it was really bizarre. You're having a full-blown conversation, as I am with you now, and my lips weren't moving. All in here, and Mother Ayahuasca appeared and I have a picture of an artist that painted Mother Ayahuasca exactly as I saw her in my response to the DMT. And I was asking really deep questions like, why am I here? And show me unconditional love. And she said to me on the second night, she said, San Pedro cactus for huachuma. San Pedro. Thank you, Terry. So the San Pedro is kind of Saint Peter, San Pedro. And it's the balance to the feminine energy of the ayahuasca. Prince Harry's done ayahuasca. Told him everybody himself, but it wasn't on anybody's radar except mine. So it's like, oh, Harold, old boy, you've done ayahuasca. I'm hoping that somehow, unless Big Pharma get a hold of it, it's very good for depression. It's very good for anxiety. It's very good for nervousness. It's very good for many, many ailments. For me, I just want to do, I'm literally zero tolerance with drugs. So I've never done as much as smoke a cigarette in my life. And I wanted to see what it was, because I'd watched Rogan, I'd watched Graham Hancock talk about doing this and talk about the stuff that they saw. And I thought, well, maybe if I do this ayahuasca, it'll give me some kind of direction in life, or direction for the Theatre of the Mind channel. And the second night, I said two things to Mother Ayahuasca in my head, didn't speak it out loud. I said, please, will you look after my wife? She wasn't very good last night, and she's struggling with this. We're on our honeymoon. We're struggling with this. And she said to me, all will be well. That was her message. I'm having a conversation with this entity. All will be well. So the day after, I said to the new Mrs. Allen, I said, look, I did this, and this was the message back. And she said, oh, yeah, it was fine. It was fine. I got this message and that message, but she said, all will be well. I said, yeah. She said, it was much better than the first night. And I said to her, show me unconditional love. All you need is love, as the Beatles once sang. And I said, show me unconditional love. And she said to me, are you sure? And I started having an argument with her. I said, look, of course I'm sure. I've asked you, haven't I? I'm from the northeast of England. We're straight talkers, even in the Amazon. And she said, are you sure? I said, oh, here, stop mucking about. I'm happy to receive wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and unconditional love. And literally, I felt something smack me in the chest and rip my chest open. And then I went up into the stars. Now, I can tell you this after you watching this channel for a couple of years, because I'm not a Billy bullshitter. This is my human experience of ayahuasca in the Peruvian Amazon. We were 2 hours up the Amazon by boat. You can't get there by helicopter. You can't get there by road. You can't even bloody walk it. You can only get there up the Amazon River. So I get this, bang, rip my chest open, and I end up going up towards the stars. And I was saying to her, yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. And then I started to, well, I'm not a tree-hugging hippie by any stretch of the imagination, but the emotion just got to me. And she said, what did she say? Maybe I should have listened to the recordings before I said this. But she said to me, you know where you need to go. You know what you need to do. Why are you here asking these questions? I said, I've asked for unconditional love, not bloody tree-hugging hippie shite. I'm not. That's not me, man. Just look, me and you having a... And all of a sudden, I started to see this golden tadpole. So obviously, this stuff that's medicine in the Peruvian Amazon is not meant in this country, seemingly, or the British Isles. So I was like, yeah, what the bloody hell's that? That's a tadpole. That's a golden tadpole. All of a sudden, I'm sitting in a golden pyramid. And she said, go gently, child. I was like, oh man, I'm from Sunderland. All we do is bloody fight. She said, no, just go gently, child. So anyway, you kind of have this, and it's within 90 minutes, you hit all the stuff, the DMT kicks in. And it lasts for about 90 minutes, and they come round and say, Les, yeah, I'm doing NASA, just I'm going to do the moon landings after I've explained this to you. You're wrong. You're not going to get this anywhere, because you can't get it in this country. It's illegal. And it was one of the most profound experiences of my life. If you ever get a chance to go to South America, what they do, they call them brew hose. The shaman will put extra DMT in it so you get off your tits. But this was medicine. and it was an incredible experience. And then I will tell you about the San Pedro, the Wachuma. It might have been golden sperm, Terry. Big enough to be a tadpole. So we get to the Wachuma, and so I thought I was dying on ayahuasca. The staff at the centre thought I was dying on San Pedro because I collapsed again. I mean, now you know why I won't do. Nice one, Aidan. I'll get to that in a second while I tell you this story. In fact, no, I'll save the San Pedro. For another life, because it's quite complex, and what came out of me isn't funny. Basically, they said, Adrian, it's El Diablo. Fuck off. They said, no, we thought we were going to lose you. There was an energy attached to you. It was El Diablo. Told you I got a golden tadpole, was you. I know, but in what context? I've no idea. Just go gently, child, and some of the other stuff. But the San Pedro, the masculine energy to the female, ayahuasca, was I collapsed. They thought I was going to die. And they said there was a very ancient energy attached to you that they didn't know what the language was, because I was talking this language that they didn't know what it was. I can't remember anything. And so I'll tell you that on another night, on another live, because it's a story and a half. The owner was really worried, and he said he'll never forget that ceremony. He'll never forget it in a month of Sundays. So what's this deal? I think Aidan Wellsmith, man smokes crack on the underground. I did have a pilot friend, had shrooms in Thailand and started seeing pink elephants. Nice. This ayahuasca is very special, though. It's medicine. It is medicine. But they don't want you to fix text. It could be. But when somebody tells you you've had El Diablo, the devil, attached to you, and ayahuasca lasts about 6 months, and San Pedro lasts for life. You don't need to have another one. Aidan says, Crawley man drives car into people, killing one. Aidan, what's your source? Is this happening on social media? 13 arrests in Bradford for CSA. Right. I will be looking at that once I finish this particular live. But let's get to, I want to talk about the moon landings. Because I think, I know that Musk is talking about getting people to Mars. That's not going to happen. Army experts called in to help with logistics as Birmingham bin strike. It was only a matter of time before they called it in about the Birmingham bin strikes. So Birmingham Council, I would suggest it's corrupt because it's bankrupt, both morally and financially. So they need to start coughing up all of their books, all of their accounts, so that the council taxpayers who are paying their corruption actually needs to know where the money's going. Bin men are not happy. Aidan, not good if you're flying a Boeing out the next day. Oi, 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 oi. Paulie Galtieri, Muslims run the council in Birmingham. I know they do. Well, it's corrupt. It doesn't matter who's running it. The council's corrupt. So now they've got to fess up. They've got to start and well, let's wait and see. Thank you, Stuart. Let's wait and see who bails them out, if anybody. Is it going to be the government? Well, they're sending £3 billion a year for the next 100 years to Ukraine. So let's wait and see. So the moon landings. Musk wants to go to Mars. That's not happening in a month of Sundays, unless he can build a ship, but it will be too heavy. If he can build a ship that is lead-lined and stops all of the Van Allen belt radiation, because that's what they can't get through. So I would suggest that no biological organism has gone out into deep, deep space. Because as human beings, we can't get out through the Van Allen belt. Every single space shuttle, no one or nothing other than the Apollo missions have been through the Van Allen belt. So how did NASA get I think it was, so no space stations, every space shuttle, no one or nothing other than the Apollo missions has been through the Van Allen belt. Now, wow, you never know, Nicholas. All of them have maintained their place within 350 miles. I think the Van Allen belt is about 350 miles out from Earth. So every space shuttle, no space stations, all of them have stayed inside the 350 miles. The Russians never figured out how to do it, because the Russians would have been massively keen to get through the Van Allen belt just to say that they'd done it first. I mean, you know, they sent a dog into space first, then they sent a man into space first, and then the Americans. So the Americans have sent 6 Apollo missions between 1969 and 1972. So here's my question. Do you think that they could fake the moon landings today, considering what we've got literally in the palm of our hands? You're wrong, on Palm Sunday. Give your phone a shake. Considering we have access to the most information and the most knowledge ever in humankind's history. Nuts and bolts, Russian did go round the moon first, didn't they? Not with a human being inside, they didn't. Not with a dog, unless they did that and the dog came back and died. But could they fake the moon landings now? I mean, it's bad enough everybody's got the truth on X. It's like YouTube. They're cutting comments from, we don't have freedom of speech in this country. So could they fake the moon landings today? Right, we'll do another question. Could they fake the moon landings today? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Could they fake the moon landings today? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Good to see you two gets in a car. They did not fake it in 69. They couldn't. Could they fake the moon landings today? It's all ones. They could, but won't. Too many people to keep quiet. Fixed text, no. Two gets in a car says didn't fake them in 1969. Peter Sadler says no. So more twos coming in. It's interesting because according to, I think one of the first man on the moon, Neil Armstrong, is dead now. But the second man on the moon isn't. And he's actually saying, he's letting it out. No, we faked it. A few more twos coming in. Mostly ones, though. It's an interesting take. No, he didn't. He was taking the piss out of the skeptics. Oh, right, okay. Let me just have a look at this, because there was, I made some notes. Evidently not. There was, I did some research today, and I was watching an interview with a guy that says, that said he has evidence of, he's got evidence of little green men. I don't know what I've done with it. Jesus, I mustn't have. So I'm going to do more research on it, but there is at Area 51. They're saying that they have the bodies of between 30 and 60 aliens. They had craft that crashed at Roswell in 1947, and they're keeping it from us. But are they? Is it just another Hollywood film that they're going to use to keep us in line? Because we're all suddenly finding the truths out and they don't want us to know the truth. So let's wait and see. I'll use it on Wednesday. I will literally do that on Wednesday. I want to talk about, we talked about the Charlie 19 book, Buzz Lightyear. The Oboville says, I don't believe any of it. It's always in the USA. Do you know? A lot mental. I was actually thinking that, and I made that in my notes, that isn't it funny that it's always the bloody Americans? So why haven't they landed in Russia or China or Japan or the Far East or South America? Terry, it's interesting because they did bring rock back, didn't they? These Apollo missions. So where is it? Or is it a meteorite that's hit Earth and they've just chopped it up and gone, oh, look, moon, rock. I wanted to mention something to you because we've mentioned Charlie 19 tonight. I want to mention to you that this is what I'm going to do. Now, whether you do this is entirely down to you. I'm not advising you anyway. I'm not a doctor. Haven't had the 8 years, although I don't trust them as far as I can spit them. The next time you go into a doctor's to jibber jabber your child, ask the doctor for the product information statement. Because I had a conversation, I won't go into too much detail with it, but I was left aghast. I said to them, so you've had your little one jabbed? Yeah. So did you have a look at that little slip of thing, the product information statement that comes with the product, the box that you're given, to say what's actually in the jab? Oh no. Well, the doctor says that, we've got to have it, and we've got to have this jab, and then in another 6 months another jab, and this, that, and the other. Is it a pill patient information leaflet? Thank you, nuts and bolts. And does this. So when I was given my metformin, I said to him, what's the side effect? Because I had a friend that had taken metformin and had the shits for 2 weeks. I said, what's the side effect? He said, oh, it's this, that, and the other. I said, is it on that bit of paper that comes with the tablets? Oh, I suppose so. So is suppose so sufficient? Oh, and so ask for the, HD footprints on the moon, I agree. So you've got to ask if it's been tested. Does it list the adverse reactions? Like I say, RFK is going to release all the data around autism in September, because somehow it's gone from being like 1 in 32,000 or 132,000 down to 1 in a few hundred children are getting autism from something, whatever that is, and RFK is going to blow it up. So has it been tested? Is there any adverse reactions listed? And this is our children. So again, like 5 years ago, everybody's trying to do the right thing. There are restrictions on children. They can't go into. If you've not been jabbed, you're not coming into this school. Have you got a full inoculation list? Have you got a full itinerary of everything they've been inoculated with? So parents are under so much pressure. But do you know that the rough estimates of people that have died in the last 4 years, 457,000 people died in World War II. Sorry, Americans. 457,000 died in World War II. Worldwide, from the jibber jabber, it's estimated to be as many as 17 million. Now, we know the agendas We know what seemingly they're trying to do, but they're estimating 17 million people have died. The EU bottle says 120 million across the world. Are they trying to confuse us? Are they trying to make sure that we, A, don't communicate it amongst communities, families, friends, so that nobody knows the true estimate? But when you've got people, and again, I'll say, I'm not judging anybody. Some people can't read. Some people will struggle to see what's on a packet. They just want to do the right thing, and that's what we were doing 4 years ago, 2021, rattling your pots and pans on the doorstep. But this is our children. So RFK is going to blow this out of the water. But Big Pharma, they're making more money out of ill people than they do from dead people, so they don't want people to die. That's for certain. Lucy Letby, front of the Mail today. Interesting take on it now. They're talking of more email evidence that's questioning the prosecution's case. So Lord Sumption has already stated that the case is falling apart, quote. So when's this going to be looked at again? She's serving 15 whole life sentences. But seemingly this email that's come out today there's too many people now looking at the case. There's too many people saying this is dangerous. This conviction is dangerous. And there's other people that are being implicated in certain ways. So we need to get more clarity around other medical practitioners that were working at the same time as Lucy Letby. I think it's coming out. Let's wait and see. But the Daily Mail are quite on it. Yet another exclusive on the front. If you want to keep an eye on Starmer, the Labour Party, we both know that they love a bung. They love a private jet. Fat lad Lammy. Not fat shaming, he's just fat. Fact. Ed Millipede. They love a bung. Some of them, I would suggest, up their arse. But you do know that Starmer and Labour have given the green light to a Chinese super embassy in London. Seemingly, it's the old Royal Mint buildings. I've seen a photograph of it, and it's massive. And what they're saying is, they've got a couple of rooms underground, and they're really worried about what those rooms are going to be used for. But I wonder what they're trying to get past the planners. I mean, you know the hoops that you've got to jump through just to get an extension to your house or do something in your garden. The planners are, they're pretty on it. But the planning documents are for the Royal Mint buildings, which will include 2 suites of anonymous, unlabelled basement rooms. I mean, it's like something off the telly. And there's also a tunnel, and the purpose of these 2 suites of anonymous, unlabelled basement rooms in the tunnel have been redacted. The purpose has been redacted for security reasons. What are they bloody going to do down there then? Other than invite politicians and have parties. So remember, Rachel from McCants, she went to WEF and was negotiating with people at WEF to give her money. And then she had a meeting in China. President Xi campaigned for this building personally. Why would he do that? So I'll ask you a question. Do you think that they bought the planning permission? Because, look, Chinese Communist Party, they're awash with money. So which politicians are getting backhanders? Look, forgive me, I'm a cynical old tart. I know what the game is. I know what the politicians are doing. It's all about the Benjamins. So has Tia Kia taken the orders from WEF to allow the Chinese to to build this new super embassy in the old Royal Mint buildings. I have said to you, because I spoke to the locals were telling me when I was in Davos, oi, 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 there's loads of Chinese coming now, loads of Chinese. And they were complaining that there was too many Chinese in Davos. Are they taken over? Is it all Marxist, socialist, communist? There's a story that's going to be breaking over the next few days. Some army vets, they're appealing to the government because Labour want to repeal the Tories' Legacy Act. I know we've got a few ex-squaddies in the chat, but the army vets are really worried that it could end up with multiple vexatious court cases. 13,000 paras are involved in trying to get the Labour Party to change their mind, some of which served in Northern Ireland. And then I thought, hang on a second, who'd make the money? Of course it'd be the bloody lawyers and barristers. They're not interested in doing the right thing. They're not interested in getting to the truth. They're not interested in just letting sleeping dogs lie. Once you get the lawyers and the barristers involved, they want millions. It's just grifting, grifting, grifting. And literally, if I saw a lawyer, heaven forbid, and a barrister, heaven forbid, on fire, I'd call a fire engine. I wouldn't piss on them if they were on fire. So this could end up, this vexatious court case and cases, could end up making shit tons of money, millions, for lawyers and barristers for years and years and years. What else did there was something else I was going to talk to you about lawyers. Oh, this might be flying under the radar. But you know that Ginger Growler, Labour deputy, she was given 10 grand. You know the rubbish, because the army are going to go into Birmingham and clear it. Bless them. But Ginger Growler, she was given 10 grand from the Unite Union. That's the union that's representing the bin men. So what did they give her 10 grand for? New dresses or something? £10,000. Some people take a year to earn that kind of money after tax. So I would suggest to Ginger Growler, because obviously she's a regular, give the bloody money back. Look, I'll be straight with you. It's a conflict of interest. How can a politician that's dealing with, or used to be well within the Unite Union and unions, and the Labour Party joined at the hip with the unions, and now the bin men want a pay increase? Well, they should have been looking at the 10 grand that she was given by the Unite Union. Ginger Growler, grubby mitts. I did think about talking about the Royals, but honestly, I think it would just be... I think we'll do another question. No, I think one of my bits and pieces. So, a couple of questions. Let's have a load of votes before we bring this to... that's what I was looking for. So, just look at this way. The Rotherham Groomers. Are you aware that it might not be about the groomers? Because remember, Tuti Akia, head of DPP, Department of Public Prosecutions, I'll tell you what I think it's about. It's about the lawyers and the barristers. So think of it this way. The groomers, and this is fact, it was published today, the groomers had £610,000 in legal aid. So I've told you, the lawyers and the barristers, they don't care whether it's true or not, or false, or whether they're going to get a just and true prosecution. They don't care because they just want to get paid. Now, although the whole country is up in arms about what's going on, quite rightly, I'm with everybody else. The lawyers and the barristers. Give me the money. Give me the money. So the ringleader, Ali Akhtar, 43 years old, was given 23 years in jail. But was given, they call it aid, but it's taxpayers' money. So you paid his legal aid. £143,696 in aid. Legal aid. So the ringleader, if you wish, got 23 years in jail and was given taxpayers' funding, 143,696. And these grubby shysters, the lawyers and the barristers, they took that money. They took it. Obviously to buy a second home or a new yacht. 5 others, aged between 40 and 45, received between £60,000 and £90,000 each in aid. A 7th not named for legal reasons, but that person got 90 grand in aid. So I'll just say this to you. The ringleader got £143,696 in aid to pay for barristers and lawyers. 5 others got between 60 and 90 grand each. And then a 7th, 90 grand. And you think they don't want it out in the open? Because the lawyers, the shysters, the grubby bastards are just piling high the money. There's no integrity in the legal profession. None. They don't even like each other. No integrity whatsoever. When I read that actually shocked me. But it didn't shock me that there's barristers and lawyers just making a shit ton of money. Taxpayers' money. Because evidently they can't pay it. Must be claiming benefits. Terry Wookfit. Wouldn't the lawyers earn more, though, if there was an inquiry that led to prosecutions of police, social workers for covering shit up? They would. It would take 2 or 3 years and they would make millions. It's just a massive grift. The legal profession, it's not about doing the right thing. It's not about legal and, protecting the innocent. They're not interested. They just want to make shit tons of money. They're not doing the inquiry. It was 5 million for 5 inquiries, so £1 million each. Because they know that £1 million will be spent in a fortnight. Can you imagine? So Keir Starmer's mates, I'll take that one. So a couple of questions before we wind everything up. Going to ask you a question and then we'll do more coverage of it on Wednesday, because the next live is on Wednesday. Question 1. Do you believe in chemtrails? 1 for yes, 2 for no. I'd be very curious and to know how you feel about this. Do you believe in chemtrails? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Interesting. I love the fact that this is not an echo chamber. I do love the fact that you have, your own take on things. Maybe I'll ask the second question, which is what is their purpose on Wednesday, once I've done a bit more digging and have more data. Do you believe in chemtrails? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Wow, Amanda. We need to have a chat, because I don't know about you, but I get up in the morning and I think, right, down for the paper, see what's going on in the world. And it's beautiful sunshine, beautiful. And you think, oh, isn't life great? Isn't life wonderful? So I'll pick my papers up about 7 a.m. And then I get back home, I go through the papers. By the time it gets to 9, half 9, it's bloody grey again. Cloud cover. And you just think, how do they manage that every bloody day? Bastards. Potty mouth again. Dale Steele, good to see you, Dale. I'm going to ask you a multifaceted question. Second question. What's the one issue you're willing to die on a hill for? What is the one issue you're willing to die on a hill for? Vix Tex. I live in Texas. Do they not have chemtrails in Texas? Vix Tex. They've got Joe Rogan. Rich, they are only vapor trails from moisture-laden air. But that's what I'm saying. If they're seeding the clouds for rain and cloud cover, then it's like today, the rain came from nowhere. And you just think, what? Now they're now telling us, oh, there's going to be a load of sand from Saudi Arabia dropping on your cars. Now, I've heard that phenomenon before. But so it goes from the desert up into wherever it goes to, and then travels thousands of miles, and then drops on your car in Sunderland. So what's the one issue you're willing to die on a hill for? I'll give you some help. Would it be vaccines? Would it be child sexual abuse? Would it be chemtrails? Would it be corrupt politicians? Would it be the cure for cancer they seemingly haven't found in nearly 100 years? And is cancer too big an industry for a cure? Contentious, I know, but it's just a question. Angelic Inspirations, Free Speech, Stewart Family and Friends, Manda Sky, all of it. Terry Wookfit, CSA, Rich. So fuel companies, airlines, pilots, maintenance engineers are all covering it up. Unlikely. So what's the one issue you're willing to die on a hill for? Vaccines? Look what we've had in the last 5 years. Child sexual abuse, chemtrails, corrupt politicians, cure for cancer that they haven't found in the last 100 years. Mass deportations. Yeah, we're with you. Dale Steele says free speech. Echo Bunny Woman jabs. Mad Matt UK, corrupt politicians. And in the field, Christian England. Wonderful. So final question of the night, and I really do appreciate your indulgence tonight, but this is the most contentious. The most contentious. Manda Sky says, I watch plenty of private planes out spraying. So final question of the night, and thank you to everyone that's voted so far. This question is this. Should Brits be allowed to bear arms? Like America. Should Brits be allowed to bear arms? Can you imagine if they gave us the American Constitution, free speech? Nobody can stop you from saying anything. But it's one of those questions that's been asked many, many times. It's been debated many, many times. And, you know, the drugs gangs have got guns. Don't know where they got them from. I have a good guess. Loads of people saying yes. A couple saying no. Should Brits be allowed to bear arms? Will it be like the OK Corral? Can you imagine the shootouts? I mean, it's bad enough if you go to those shoot them up. Oh, bloody hell. It's because I'm tired. Anyway, let's go through some of these. Gavin Davis says yes. Andrew James. Give us the First Amendment also. Catwoman Jones, yes. Doxy says no. Tamara Pesci or Tamara Pesky. Sorry, Tamara. Says no. Alan says my nail gun by the door, completely legal. So is a baseball bat. As I've said to you before, and this is law in this country, a friend of mine was lying in bed with his missus, and they heard something downstairs. And the missus goes, here, go downstairs. I've heard something. The dog's not downstairs. Dog's up here. So it can't be that. Might have just been something. Go downstairs and find out what it is. So he goes downstairs, and literally, as he gets to the bottom of the stairs, he flicks the switch, and there's a kid in his house. And he said, the only thing I could think of was I reached down and I've got some steel toe cap boots. He said, I grabbed that and I swung at him and connected flush with his jaw. And he said, I must have broken his jaw because I heard the snap. I must have broken it. He said, but he just yelped and ran out. And then we had this debate. And in law, your bedroom is the most sacrosanct room in the house. Now, if my home and or family and or anything else is threatened, I will use proportionate and appropriate force. And then I'll drag the shit upstairs into my bedroom. And then I'll ring the police and say, found a guy unconscious in my bedroom. Don't know how he got here, but he's unconscious. I'll try and put him in the recovery position. So I just switched the light on and there he was. So it's his word against mine. He's a scrote. What were you doing in their house? Oh, I was nicking stuff. Right, okay, bang the rights. He can't turn around and say, well, I was invited. Can't say anything. And in law, and I'm happy to be contradicted, but in law, it's the most sacrosanct room in your home. If anybody is found in your bedroom, then that's it. Boys in blue, the Rozzers will just take them away. No argument. If I've rang the police to say, look, lads, I just found him here. I don't know how he got here. He's got to explain himself to a judge. And I can say to the judge, I don't know what went on, Your Honour. There wasn't any noise, but I switched the light on and there they were in bits. They put them in bed. Don't know what they were doing there. His word against mine. Is it the Castle Doctrine, Vic's text? Thank you for that. I couldn't quote you the law verbatim, but I just know, paraphrasing, that is it. Alan says, Ecky thump. That stops them. Well, Tony Martin, two scroats from the East Midlands, went down to his house to nick more stuff out, and he shot with them, Fred Barris. Shot him dead. That's why he did jail time. Everybody felt sorry for him, and everybody agreed that he should have been able to defend his own home. God, I was on air doing phone-ins. That was some week, let alone month, that people wanted to get their opinions heard. Anyway, thank you for your likes, your subscriptions, but most of all, your indulgence. Next live is, what day are we? Sunday. It'll be Wednesday, 8 p.m, of course. Parish notes at 5 to the hour. So if you want to be in it to win it, you need to be in it between 5 to 8, because then we tend to get started at 8 o'clock now. So thank you to everyone that's been here. Really enjoyed it. There's still more stuff that we could have got through, but I need to take a break now. We've been going well over 2 hours. Look forward. There's more ideas, more things coming, I promise you. The Mark Shaw interview is going to be uploaded tomorrow. I think you'll find that very, very interesting. So thank you to everyone. And please make sure the body of the kirk is tidy on your egress, on your leaving. And I will see you Wednesday, 8 o'clock for the next live. Whatever you do, wherever you go, stay safe, be well, but don't forget the Bamberg. And I'll see you Wednesday, 8 o'clock.